everybody. This is Lee, and I'm talking about the concept of good cop, bad cop, and that anyone who's watched a television series about law or Law and Order, any cop show, or they've watched a movie about police and cops and interrogations and things like that, you've probably seen the concept of good cop, bad cop on display. And you know what it is. But I look at it in terms of our political system, not only in terms of police interrogations, but how our political system has become a good cop, bad cop type of system, with the Democratic Party portraying itself as the good cops and then the Republican Party portraying itself as the bad cops. And we are the victims who are being put in the hot seat with this carrot and stick type of gaslighting used against us, hurting us, driving us to a desired end. And so I'm on Wikipedia looking at the concept of good cop, bad cop to see if I can explain it. And so it's a routine, it's a joint questioning, a friend and foe, a psychological tactic. It's used in negotiations and interrogations. It involves a team of two interrogators, one good, one bad, taking opposite approaches towards the subject or victim. And so they interview the subject alternately or confront the subject at the same time. The bad cop takes an aggressive, negative stance towards the subject. They make blatant accusations like voter fraud, maybe. Derogatory comments like you don't need health care if you bought an iPhone, maybe. They make threats of, well, you know what, we're going to escalate police on the streets. And you protesters are terrorists, and we're going to respond accordingly. And then, in general, they create antipathy towards between the subject and themselves, and so they create a tense, stressful environment, attack environment. And so this sets the stage for the good cop, or the so-called good cop type of Democratic Party, to come in and then act sympathetically towards the subject. They appear supportive and understanding, and in general, they appear to be sympathetic for the subject. And then the good cop will make an effort to defend the subject from the bad cop. And so then the subject feels like, well, they'll then cooperate with the so-called good cop, either out of trust or out of fear of the bad cop. And so this has basically been our political system for decades, where we have a good cop, bad cop routine, carrot and stick on display, driving the electorate out of fear of the bad cop. And so much has been done with that good cop, bad cop routine. And that the subject may seek protection by the good cop. They try to persuade themselves that they trust the good cop because the good cop's not crazy. It's the bad cop that's crazy, even though the good cop and the bad cop are actually on the same team. And so then the subject capitulates and gives up and provides the information, or in the case of electoral politics, provides the votes. We've seen this with the healthcare debate. We've got threats of attack by the bad cops, which represent Trump Care. And so they're trying to force the voters to, trust the good cop, Obamacare. Like, you know what? You had better choose Obamacare, because if not, you're going to get Trump Care. And don't even think about Medicare for all. So that's a good cop, bad cop routine. And we see that applied in various ways. I talked about healthcare. But, it's also been used in other aspects in terms of driving votes towards the so-called good cop party in support of neoliberalism, which is a kinder form of corporatism. Both Democratic Party and Republican Party are corporate parties representing the oligarchy. Corporatism is just the good cop, bad cop routine is like sending votes to one party or the other. And so look at it that way. You kind of see like there's a loop here, a pattern going on. It's been going on for decades, and that it is possible to break it. Mostly by responding, we, the subject, or we who have been victimized, the effort to run progressives in both parties to counterbalance the good cop, bad cop routine and to do our own flanking maneuvers on both the Democratic and the Republican parties. One, and then also seeking to run independents and third party members if the progressive people who run in the major parties fail to succeed in their primaries, that our backup plan are independents and third party members. And that's how you defeat the good cop, bad cop routine. That's how you defeat the loop. We'll see what happens in 2018. Good luck.